Hi there! Today we are continuing with our special summer series just like last week. But first, let us quickly introduce ourselves. I'm Junichi Do, and I mainly focus on teaching English pronunciation on this channel. What about you?
And I'm Yugo Ito, sharing contents about Japanese culture. We should probably mention that neither of us is bilingual. I started college in the US at 46 and graduated at 50 in anthropology. And you?
I graduated with my bachelor's degree at 46 and my master's at 49, mostly in linguistics and English teaching. We're pretty much a married couple who graduated from the same university, right?
Yeah, we didn't just attend the same university. We were in the same department and under the same academic advisor.
Surprisingly, yes.
Anyway, today we thought we'd chat in front of the camera in English about some recent news in Japan.
Alright, let's get started.
It happened again.
What are you talking about?
I mentioned a similar incident in my previous video on Japanese hospitality, and now the same thing has happened again at Yasukuni Shrine in Tokyo. How can I explain Yasukuni Shrine?
Yasukuni is a place that honors the spirits of those who died for the country during World War II.
Just 3 months ago in May, someone spray painted the word toilet in red on a stone pillar at the entrance, and now in August, the same place was vandalized again, you know?
Yeah, this time with black paint in Chinese, writing words like toilet, crap, militarism, and die.
What do you guys think about this?
Did this person really come all the way to Japan just to do something like this? Let's not forget, it's Japan here. What they did is like going into someone else's house, scribbling on the wall, and leaving. And it's not even a kid doing this, but an adult.
Speaking of which, I mentioned this in the last video too, the incident at Yasaka Shrine in Kyoto. This was about a Japanese woman who warned a tourist for laughing at Ontsubosuzu, which is a large bell hung in front of the main shrine for worship, and she got yelled at by the British tour guide who was showing the tourist around. Apparently, this British guy lives in Japan and is married to a Japanese woman.
I watched the video, and the way the guy criticized the Japanese woman wasn't just rude. It was something you wouldn't expect from an adult. He sounded like a street punk.
The part that bothered me the most was when he asked the woman, "Can you speak English?" in a mocking way.
This guy speaks Japanese and has a Japanese woman, right? So why would he even ask that?
Of course, the woman fired back, saying, "This is Japan, why are you asking that?" We are seeing more and more shocking incidents like this.
We lived in the US for about 8 years, and we always felt like we were guests in another country, right? America has its own rules and manners, so we adapted to that.
We didn't try to impose Japanese manners or criticize their customs.
Oh, we did criticize their customs, if you remember.
Secretly, only in Japanese, only sometimes.
Anyway, we were in a place with very few Japanese people, and since we were the only official Japanese students, it felt like everything we did reflected on Japan. Our actions can either improve or damage Japan's reputation, and the same goes the other way around. When I was in Japan, I didn't feel it, but living abroad made me much more conscious of representing Japan.
What were you most mindful of as a Japanese person to avoid being disrespectful?
Cleaning, maybe.
Cleaning? What do you mean?
Remember how we used to take a broom from home to clean up all the trash at the laundromat?
Yeah, I remember that. We lived in an apartment and went to the residents-only laundry room once a week.
Those were the days.
For me, even when the professor said it was okay to call them by their first names, I always said their last name with the professor and bowed. I knew bowing wasn't necessary, but I just couldn't stop doing it.
Yeah, because we were Japanese, and we always made sure to leave at least a 50% tip after a meal.
Personally, I wish the tipping culture existed in Japan.
That'd be annoying, I don't think so.
Really?
Also, making small talk with strangers in elevators or at the grocery store was normal. Ignoring them wasn't. In Japan, people get wary if a stranger talks to them.
I actually like the people who casually chat with me.
Anyway, we've got a bit off track, so let's get back to the topic. First of all, if you don't like Japan, I don't think you should spend your time, money, and effort to come here. Even if not everyone does it, if you commit a crime, the news will report your country's name. Your actions reflect on your country's reputation, for better or worse. Is there anything you want to add?
So please avoid reckless behavior. Even people who live in other countries are speaking out against people who act rudely here, saying, "Hey Japanese people, aren't you angry?" To those of you who defend Japan, thank you.
By the way, why do you think we Japanese avoid saying no directly? Oh, you're a strange Japanese person who says no all the time.
Is that a compliment? That's my favorite thing. Maybe it's because when we Japanese don't say no, we feel like we have to find a way to make things work.
That's why so many of us are trying.
And stressed.
Maybe we should do a survey and ask, can you say no?
Yeah, that must be a good idea. We will.
Lastly, about that British guy asking the Japanese woman, can you speak English?
What are your thoughts on that as an English instructor?
Not just an English teacher, but as a Japanese person, let me say something. It's weird to come to another country and ask if someone speaks your language.
It's also strange that we Japanese try so hard to speak English instead of Japanese, isn't it?
Today, so many people from overseas want to try to speak Japanese. If you've come all the way to Japan, wouldn't you be happier being spoken to in Japanese? While there are useful translation tools like ChatGPT, I encourage you to learn at least some basic Japanese greetings to make the most of your visit.
By the way, how long do you think the weekend will last?
I don't know, but it's tough for us because we're people who always want to travel overseas. But if you're planning to visit Japan, now might be the best time.
Please make sure to enjoy your time here with mutual respect.
Today's special episode was a casual chat in front of the camera as a couple. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like.
We always welcome your comments. See you soon!